And we are live. Toby Bindon, how are we doing?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. It's very good to be back on. This is my first interview back on with you since I probably signed, which was March of 2020. So I'm very happy to be back on, George. It's good to be back.
Yeah, lots changed. Obviously, you've had your bare knuckle debut now, Joey Vaughan, BKB Lockdown 2. A really, really impressive win. First round TKO. I've got to ask before we delve into the fight itself, how impressed were you by your performance?
Yeah, I was very happy with my performance. It was something that I'd visualized in my training leading up to the fight. I did visualize that finish. I trained very hard. We were very well prepared for Joey. So I was over the moon once it was done and reality hit that, I got the finish and I won. I was over the moon. Yeah. I was on cloud nine. Absolutely amazing debut on an amazing promotion like BKB. So I was over the moon.
So obviously you've done a bit of boxing in the past, but you were particularly impressive out there on the night fighting a professional and former very credentialed amateur boxer in Joey Vaughan. What have you been doing? Because obviously in the Muay Thai, there is an element of boxing. You have done a bit of unlicensed, as I said before, but you looked the cleaner boxer against a man with very, very good credentials.
Yeah, just basically dedicating my whole skill set into boxing, transferring over to boxing completely. With my trainer Gareth Hogg, who is a former professional boxer himself, been boxing for many, many, many years, a fantastic coach. And for me to really get the best out of myself in the BKB, I needed to transfer purely over to the boxing element. I'd always had good boxing in my Muay Thai and my kickboxing fights. So it was just fine tuning some stuff and I took to it quite naturally. So it was really nice to see all the hard work that we'd been working on in the gym pay off in the actual fight. So yeah, it was just basically putting all my focus into training boxing instead of the other elements of martial arts, like kicking and clinching and the stuff you'd use in Muay Thai and mixed martial arts. So yeah, it was just a lot of hard work put in, and I found it very natural. It was a natural transition for myself, so it wasn't too hard. It was just nice and smooth.
You're a very philosophical guy. You think about combat in its purest form, and I wonder what it was like from your perspective going in there, your first bare knuckle fight. What was it like? The senses, the sounds. What was it like getting in there and fighting bare knuckle in comparison to other combat sports?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've spoken to about people when they've asked me, in the gym, or what was it like? And the main thing I'd felt is I felt so much more free. So without the big gloves on your hands, I almost feel sometimes claustrophobic when I've got pillow gloves, 10-ounce gloves, massive gloves on my hands. And you've got your hands up, it almost blocks out a bit of your vision. Whereas with the bare knuckle, with the open hand guard, and just obviously a lot less, nothing on your hands. So I could see a lot more. I felt like I could see so much more. I could read my opponent better. I was able to be more free. I felt lighter. Just everything felt more of a free flow combat instead of like, you've got the gloves and you've got all the anxiety and everything else. It sort of helped get rid of all that because you just felt more natural.
So Zdenek, Pernica next, obviously not much known on him, another Muay Thai guy like yourself, from the Czech Republic, I believe. What are you thinking about this guy? There's not much footage out there. I understand he did fight bare knuckle, organized bare knuckle in the streets of Czech Republic. Nothing professional like yourself, so won't have the same experience. But have you had a chance to have a look at Pernica?
Yeah, we've had my coach studies footage, so we've looked at the footage that is available. Like you say, I always prepare for a fight, not a specific opponent, because you can have four opponent changes in one fight. Pullouts are common. Sadly they do happen. So I never get too fixated on one person. I'm always thinking, train for everything possible that could be thrown at you. So for all elements of this fight, I'll be prepared. But yeah, to me, he just seems very one-dimensional. He's there to be hit. I mean, I've seen him write a few things like, he's got a hard head and the bones will crack, and you take a shot of me, you're going to sleep. So if he wants to test his head, he wants to test his chin, that's fine. I'll hit him and I'll put him to sleep.
Yeah, I know you're a very ambitious fighter and progression is what you're really looking for in BKB. So I've got to ask, having come off a fight with Joey Vaughan, as I say, a very highly touted boxer, Does it feel like you're progressing, or does it feel like a bit of a downgrade in terms of opponents?
I have to be honest. Like, this is what I was saying to Jim and Joe. I wanted a top boy. I thought my performance showed it. I came in against a skillful boxer in the bare knuckle, and I completely, demolished him inside of 1 round. And I was, I wanted the people like Tony Lafferty, James Lilly, Nathan Leeson, Scott McHugh. Obviously, Scott McHugh's got the title, so I wasn't expecting him to be next. But those were the sort of credential fighters I wanted. Because originally I was meant to face Smudger Smith in lockdown 2 before his back injury. And so, like, I knew they were expecting me to be a good fighter anyway. To match me up with someone like Smudger, they were expecting me to be a good fighter. So when they said about Zdenek, he's not a name, he's a no one, he's from Czech Republic. He's very one-dimensional. I mean, I'm going to smoke this guy inside of 1 round again. And then what I don't want people is saying, oh, he just smashes up people on their debut. So, I wanted someone that was going to try and bring me, for the full distance, possibly. And I wanted to have that bare knuckle war. I hit very hard and very fast for the weight, so I want the top boys. I want to challenge myself. I want to get my way up to the title. So I want to fight the best people. I want to fight someone that's going to put me in line for that #1 contender spot or for that title shot. That's what I'm here for. I'm not just here to, make numbers. I'm here to take people out, but I want to go up that ladder and I want to get the title.
You talk about tough tests. Was there an element of disappointment coming out of the Joe Vaughan fight, coming and having 1 round of bare knuckle action? I suppose you want a few more rounds. You want to get a feel of what it's like to take those blows and to give them back.
Of course, yeah. I mean, a lot of our emphasis is hit and don't get hit. So, we work a lot of movement anyway, especially with bare knuckle. But yeah, I was fully prepared for a bloody war because I knew Joey was a game opponent. I know he's got good boxing credentials. He is a slick maneuver, so I was expecting a war, but at the same time, I'm very confident in my abilities. I've got a lot of first round finishes, and I know when I hit people, it hurts them. Wherever I hit the body or head, I can take people out. So there was no surprise to me and my coach. We knew if I was to land my shots, I don't have to hit someone accumulatively. I can hit someone with 1 shot, and that's enough to stun them. So yeah, I was over the moon, but at the same time, I'm still itching for that war, that sort of like, we're looking at each other inside of the 3rd round, covered in blood and taking each other to the trenches. That's what I'm sort of, that's what I want. So, but yeah, it will come.
And professional fighting is a full-time gig for you. You're not like a lot of the fighters who are mixing up different jobs here and there. Talk to me about the sacrifice you've had to put in to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice, family time, work, I do my PTs and that. I do enough just to get, basically cover my bills and that and make sure I can provide for my family. Then my whole focus is on fighting because this is my dream. It has been since I was a little boy. And now I'm in a promotion where that I can make that reality. The sport is growing. So, but yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice. So, but this is what I love, even though there is a lot of sacrifice, this is all I want to do. This is everything I love, is everything I want to do. So to me, I'm very happy. I'm living my dream. My family are happy, so it's all good. As long as we work our way up, we keep going, we keep winning, it's all good.
And I know things are a bit tough over in the Lethwei world in Myanmar at the moment. Is there any discussion about potentially making your debut at the moment in WLC, or is it just all up in the air?
Yeah, see, obviously everything that's going on within Myanmar, it sort of went like completely dead, like the promotion. And then I just made the decision to say, right, I can't see it reopening. I wanted to fully focus on the bare knuckle boxing. I'm in a great promotion that can offer me a lot of fights. So obviously I signed that contract after my fight, and that's when the decision was to make not to fight Lethwei anymore, because the transition from boxing back into something with kicking, punching, elbows, knees, clinch, it's a massive transition. And right now, I'm going to be going into my prime. I want to give everything I've got into the bare knuckle boxing, get as much money as I can, get as many titles as I can, and beat the best possible opponents. So yeah, the Lethwei is that's over now, and it's just purely bare knuckle boxing.
Is training completely boxing at the moment? You're not mixing things up at all with kicks at all?
No, completely boxing. Has been since the preparation for Joey. So whenever I got that fight announced, and we, that's when. And since then, it's just been, keep working, keep improving, keep learning. I love the boxing. I love all martial arts, don't get me wrong, and I love all combats, but boxing's such a sweet science. And then you get the bare knuckle boxing, it's got that added violence, it's got that, you know, barbaricness still and brutality that I seek, which is why I was attracted to Muay Thai. You know, I like the fact you can elbow someone and cut someone up, whereas bare knuckle, you know, you've got no gloves, you're in there for a straightener, but you've got the element of boxing as well. So to me, it was perfect.
And I wonder if I could get a prediction from you for Pernica. Obviously, you said first round. Is there a shot or a particular situation, a scenario you see play out in your head?
I'm just going to demolish him inside of one. You know, it's going to be no fucking about. I'm coming in. I'm going to smash him to pieces. And then I'm going to look at Jim and Joe and go, look, this is, you know, you knew this. You knew it. I knew it. Everyone knew this was going to happen. So then I'm going to be calling out, obviously, all the top boys, and we'll see who accepts then. But that's my goal. I'm not looking past Zdenek. I'm not looking past him at all because I know he's tough. All those sort of Eastern European guys, they're tough, they're durable. And he may bring out that war. You know, who's to say he's not going to bring his A game in and it be a war, because he is a tough guy. But I will be prepared for that. I just know my levels, and my levels are way above him. You know, I'm going to be too fast, too explosive, too powerful. And when I hit him, and because he thinks he's got a hard head, I'll put him to sleep, and that will be it. I'll send him packing, and he'll get back on the plane, and he'll go back to Czech, and that'll be it.
So finally, before we go into sponsors and thanks, why should people be following your journey? Why should they join the War Dog Army?
Basically, the War Dog Army, you know, what I represent is a hard-working fighter who's a dedicated family man, and I will not stop until I reach, you know, my dreams that will come true, which will be titles after titles, finishes after finishes. I'm a knockout artist. I come to fight every single time. I'm not one of these fighters that runs away. You know, I will always come hard to fight. I will always be fully prepared, and I will always, you know, come out and finish my opponent. If I'm not trying to finish my opponent, then I wouldn't expect people to tune in. But for me, I come in and I'm always looking for that finish, and I have been blessed with that knockout power, and that's why fans love to watch me fight. So anyone new that's wanting to see me fight, tune in September the 11th, BKB 22, and you will see a vicious knockout and a very bloody one.
Beautiful. Bloody hell. You're better than me at speaking. Got it,
not quite, man. Not quite. You've got the looks, though. You've got the looks.
Oh,
my nose, man. It's getting a bit like...
Awesome, man. So finally, sponsors and thanks. Who have we got to thank?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, you know, I'd like to thank my family. All my family, they know who they are. And then my coaches, Gareth Hogg, Seb Wilcox, loads of sponsors. I've got Mark Hamilton from Never Enough, who does all my supplements. Everyone at Torquay Elite Community Gym, and then all my sponsors that have came on board for this fight camp. I'll put a list out on the video, because there's quite a lot to rile off. But yeah, just thank you to everyone that sponsored me. Thank you to everyone that has had for their continued support. Thank you to yourself, and thank you to BKB, Jim and Joe, for giving me the opportunity once again to showcase my skill set and then earn some money for my family. So yeah, thank you to everyone.
11th of September, BKB 22. We're back. O2 Indigo, London. Get your tickets, guys. Thank you.
Pay-per-view and live at the O2. Crowds are back. You don't want to miss this one.
Exactly. Live on Fight TV as well, of course. So yeah, get your pay-per-views, get your tickets. You do not want to miss this one. Toby Bindon looking for a big impact. Thank you for your time, my man.
I'd just like to thank my sponsors and my team, Torquay Elite Community Gym under Gareth Hogg, for the time and preparation he's put in. My sponsors, BKB Merchandise and Bear Free. They've got some of the sickest clothing there is. Check them out. If you haven't got a BKB t-shirt, get one now. Use my code WARDOG10 for some 10% discount. I'd also like to thank Mark Hamilton under Never Enough Sports and Nutrition at the Little Supplement Company for all my supplement needs. And I'd also like to thank all my sponsors for each camp that I get individually, which I will write at the end of this video. And I'd like to thank all my continued support, all my fans, and everyone that's helped me on this journey so far.